Hello and welcome to this episode of Inspire Africa. I am Jerry Fisayo Bambi. Coming up, the story of a mobile mammography van in Kampala conducting free breast cancer screenings. The photographer capturing the natural and cultural beauty of Gabon. And later we speak with Mukondleteri Dumela, founder of the project aimed at teaching people and digitizing the Xitsonga language in South Africa. This is Inspire Africa. In Kampala, Uganda's capital, a mobile mammography van is literally on the move. Through the comprehensive cancer community program of the Uganda Cancer Institute, many now have a chance at survival from early detection of breast cancer. Let's take a look.
A mobile mammography unit is on the move. It brings screening services right to people's homes. It is a truck well fitted with equipment needed to conduct special medical imaging. And it is radiation proof, so those around are protected. Leah is a breast cancer survivor. She must undergo routine screening every year. This unit means she can do that free of charge without having to travel to a hospital.
In little places, they don't have money. It is very expensive to do mammography.
Up to 500 cancer cases have been diagnosed here since the project was introduced a decade ago. Doctors are emphasizing all women and men to go for screening.
Screening is not something that people embrace, but when we drive it into our community, we are able to screen very many of them.
Breast cancer is the second most common cancer in the country. The Uganda Cancer Institute team want to cut that number down.
Medics preach early detection of cancer can largely improve chances of survival, and that's one of the important messages that patients who come here for radiography are armed with.
Beyond breast, cervical and prostate cancers are also screened inside this van with the right medical tools. Close of business, mobile unit takeoff to next location. In the country where access to cancer screening services is inadequate, more mobile units like these could improve diagnostic capacity.
Now, Gabonese photographer Serge Ebeza's works are captivating the beauty of the forest and cities in Gabon. But this is not all. Some of his images are now helping to draw conversations on deforestation and tourism.
This young Gabonese photographer, Serge Ebeza, has been visually documenting Gabon in a spectacular way, flashing his camera on anything that impresses his eyes. Serge aims to capture both the tantalizing natural and cultural beauty of Gabon.
Thanks to the photos I do take, tourists discover places they did not know about and turn them into touristic sites later on.
Serge hopes that his work will open the eyes of the Gabonese people, help them to move away from urban life and to discover the country's natural paradise.
I applaud Serge for his work very much. Frankly, it's important for what he does. He's someone who goes out and discovers everything. He likes the forest and other remote areas. Later when I met him, I was impressed by the images he posted on social networks. They speak, you feel something, but life is entirely something else.
Just like any other country, Gabon's vast forest areas are threatened by illegal logging and deforestation.
The Gabonese forest is indeed under pressure, like all the others in the world. But it is important to note that this forest is one of the best preserved in the world. We have a very low deforestation rate of about 0.05% per year. This is very low. We don't lose much forest. However, our forests are under pressure to degrade in terms of ecosystem losses. So these These losses are due to activities such as logging, mining, oil, and quite a few other activities such as agriculture.
Despite lack of funds, Serge Ebeza still managed to sacrifice his time to capture and archive popular sites for the future generation.
We go now to South Africa to meet with Mukondleteri Dumela. Mukondleteri is the founder of an app that teaches the Xitsonga language. His app not only teaches the language, it also provides users with thousands of words translated from Xitsonga to English. Thanks for joining us, Mukondleteri.
Thank you for having us.
First off, I don't think it's too late to congratulate you on your 2020 Best Fundy Educational App of the Year award. So congratulations.
Thank you so much.
To begin with, give us a little background to how you crafted this vision.
Yeah, so the app basically started while I was still at university. And one of the things I noticed while there is that there was a lack of content for African languages, and particularly the minority languages here in South Africa, like Xitsonga, Tshivenda, and others. And Xitsonga being my native language, I wanted to build a platform that will enable other people to learn the language.
So how long has this been for you? And describe the journey so far.
Yeah, so as I mentioned, it started while I was at university, and that was 8 years ago. And obviously, still at university, I still had a lot to learn at the time. So when we launched, it was simply just a basic web app that people could access and do a few translations. But since then, we've grown into building even Android and iOS applications. And on the Android space, we have over 100,000 downloads. And for our website, it's been accessed by close to 1 million people. We are upscaling the platform to include more African languages. We are working on an African language learning platform, which will be releasing to the public later this year.
Interesting. Now, how important do you think learning labs or educational tools such as yours are in South Africa?
Yeah, it's actually, I think, a human right for people to have access to their languages in today's terms, meaning they should be accessible in the digital space. So it's really crucial that as entrepreneurs and even at the level of government, that we provide ways for people to learn their languages and also to learn other people's languages.
Mukondleteri, could you tell us some of the challenges that you face and that local entrepreneurs generally face in South Africa?
Yeah, so the biggest challenges in South Africa for entrepreneurs is always funding. There are a few channels through which entrepreneurs can get funding, but they are slow and they are not as well resourced as they should be. So they can only accommodate just a few entrepreneurs. And
what would you like to see changed then?
Yeah, so there are a lot of efforts from entrepreneurs and other people in the public sector to pressure our government to invest more in entrepreneurs. There's also a lot of incubation hubs that are being built by different organizations, and the pressure is always to ensure that those are also well funded.
What would you tell people who are looking up to you right now, or someone in some village in one part of Africa or in one country who's thinking of towing the same path as you have?
I always say it's never too late to start. There is a lot of opportunities in Africa and the world for entrepreneurs to have an impact. I myself also come from a rural area. I never used a PC until I got to university. But through, obviously, the degree that I learned and my passion for working to build a continent, I was able to focus on working on African languages. So I would say to local entrepreneurs that you need to look for ways to impact your community in a positive way. There's a lot of ways that you can learn tools that can help you build for your community. And it's never too late to start. You are the right person to work on these solutions, given that you understand the context better than anyone else.
Thank you very much, Mukondleteri.
Thank you so much for the interview.
And with that, we've come to the end of this episode of Inspire Africa. You can see it again by going to africanews.com/programs. Also, we would love to hear from you. You can send us a message on our social platforms at africanews.en in English and at africanews.fr in French. I am Jerry Fisayo Bambi, leaving you with some of the images that caught our attention on social media. See you next time.
A mural of the renowned Kevadian singer, Cesaria Evoria. A performance shot from Grammy Award-winning Nigerian artist, Burna Boy. In a scene on Art for Africans, a pictorial door to the Gaddafi Mosque in Kampala, Uganda.